Hey guys, welcome back to channel Paws Window Cleaning, and this is week number 12 of our 100K journey of 2024. Now, before we begin this video, I just kind of want to say thank you so much to Jersey and Steve the Window Cleaner for interviewing my wife and I. I completely forgot to mention that in last week's video, so you want to check that video out, I'll have it in the description down below, and then from there, check out that video, and if you guys could, give them a like. They have awesome content there, and you know, we want to help them out too. They took the time to interview us, we answered questions, even questions on the live chat. So if you have an extra hour to watch something, check that video out. So anyways, we're now on week number 12, and really our phones have been blowing up so much. It's the time of the year that now everyone's seeing the sun and everyone gets excited to have their windows cleaned. And so yeah, let's just kind of recap. So Monday, Tuesday we didn't work. Wednesday we ended up doing this job that was like a very huge job. Now they wanted solar panels, they wanted their windows inside and out done, and gutters. Now, the thing with gutters, it's something that I don't like at all. It's something that it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, it's a job that it's very, I don't know. I have a Skyvac Atom. I don't know how they got that word Atom, but the Skyvac is pretty much like a gutter vac. And so it's a 5-gallon, contains that much, and it's one motor, and I can go up to like, I think 3 stories. It sucks everything out of the gutter, so it makes my life easier. I don't have to go on a ladder and I'll do other stuff. Yeah, his house was very easily accessible with the gutters. So, and again, we don't really, it was because of the slow season, we needed the work, so we ended up just taking the job, and so it was really worth it. But yeah, gutter cleaning, I just don't like it. And it's kind of funny, when I was doing the gutters, this neighbor was passing by and was like, "Oh, you guys do gutter cleaning?" And I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, it's a job that I just don't like it at all. But anyways, we did it, and the results were amazing. The solar panels looked amazing, the gutters looked amazing, even the windows looked amazing. They having, I believe, a party this weekend, and there is a storm that's kind of coming in right now, and so they wanted it to be done beforehand, especially the gutters, because they didn't want water overflowing, and so they wanted everything done. So that was really awesome, really cool dude, and really nice. And yeah, we had a very good time doing that. And so what ended up happening was, today I already had a job scheduled. Well, today's Thursday. We had a job scheduled in the morning, but then they saw that this weekend it's going to rain, so they ended up postponing to next week, which is not a problem at all. We've done our house many times, and so that was fine. But after yesterday's job, we ended up having 2 bids. And so we went to the first house, and they asked, like, what services like are included, like what we offer, and we say, we do window cleaning, and they're like, okay, great. And do you do inside? We can. And they were like, okay. So we ended up getting to the house, and now this is kind of a little bit funny, because when we showed up at the house, she was like, okay, what is involved on the outside window cleaning? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. We use a water fed system. We get a brush, shoots out water, and we kind of scrub your frame and your glass. And so from there you have a really good finish, right? You have everything, and we don't have to have a squeegee afterwards. And so she was kind of like, and I was like, oh, okay, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, everything's fine, but the previous window cleaner kind of used the same technique, and there was like horrible results. And it's like, oh, okay, well, would you like what happened? Did they just do like, water fed on the 2nd story, and then on the 1st floor they did everything by hand? I genuinely, I didn't know what was happening or what they did. And so she's like, no, it was not that. They actually had the same brush thing or whatever, but the brush never touched the window, and they just kind of just like, in our terms, right, like rinse off. But she was like, yeah, you should start shooting water at it. And we were kind of like, hey, is that correct? Aren't you supposed to scrub or do something on the window? No, everything is fine. So they had like a really bad experience, and so that kind of sucked for them. But when we explained, and this is why I always say it's great to have a social media page, because we're like, well, let me show you our process. And so we showed them our videos from our Instagram, showing her how we clean the windows. And so she was like, oh, okay, I really like this. And she really liked this a lot, so that was pretty cool. And so then we talked with her, and she just wanted the outsides done. And so she's actually having her family come in on next Tuesday, or her husband's family coming next Tuesday. So we were able to book her on Monday. So that was awesome. And then from there, yeah, so we did the second bid, and then that second bid was a very simple, super easy cookie cutter. She wanted her windows and her screens cleaned, and so then from there we gave her the bid. And then she's like, all right, let's do it. And so we booked her for today, which is Thursday, after the morning job, but the morning job rescheduled this morning, so then we had the morning off. And then we did her house to kind of get it going with my point. So we did her house in the afternoon, and it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, you know, I feel like I just saw you yesterday. And she's like, yeah. So it was pretty fun. We ended up cleaning her windows on the inside out and her screens, and that was a total of $375. And so, yeah, that's kind of like our weekly recap, if that makes sense. So in total, we made $1,275. The first job was $900, so I don't know if I mentioned that already. But that's our weekly recap of how much we made. And so that's kind of what I wanted to ask you guys a question. All right, sorry guys, that was kind of funny. This lady was walking her dog, and then she kind of stopped, and I didn't know if she was looking at my advertisement or not, and then she was kind of like walking around, so I stopped the video, and then so pretty much another dog was coming, and so I was kind of a barrier, like she said, for the car. But anyways, so I wanted to ask you guys, so you see how like I condensed like this whole week into one. So I wanted to ask, like, for next week, because we have a job Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, how would you guys think, instead of me summarizing everything like at the end of the week, instead have like a video clip of like how the job was on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then condense all those together, so then I have still that one video a week, but at least it will be like a recap daily, but in one video on Saturday. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, you know, feel free to reach out or make in the comment section down below. Pretty much, do you guys want just one recap of one video, or do you want multiple clips in one video and then publish that video at the end of the week? So I was kind of thinking about that, because it would be pretty cool, you know, to be like how I was like every single day. And then, you know, I don't know, instead of having just one whole video, of course there's going to be weeks that's going to be a little bit harder to do that, because maybe the job is a little bit bigger, I might be tired, maybe there's no sun outside, you know, because we're working late, I don't know. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would you guys like that or not? It's an idea. I might just try it out anyways, just to see kind of how it goes. But yeah, so that's kind of our weekly recap this week. We did have a couple of other bids that we did, but we'll see how they turn out. We did a commercial building, a bid for a commercial building, so we're just kind of waiting on them to see if they approve, because, you know, when it comes to, that's one thing, if you're starting out, if you're doing commercial building work, not all the time it's going to be right away. Sometimes they have to go through corporate or whatever, so we're kind of just waiting on that. They want like a monthly agreement, but pretty much they want it like for a long term, so it'll be a pretty good job in that case. And yeah, that's kind of our week. And so if you made this far in this video, oh, actually, before I forget, there was one thing I was kind of mentioning before. Last week, I don't really remember. I think it was like $1,500 that we made last week. This week we made almost like $1,300, right? So that's like $2,800 right there, right? Give or take maybe $25. But essentially, if you keep that in mind, that's almost enough to buy a water fed system. So just letting you guys know, like, I'm giving all this like information, you know, trying to help you guys out, like, hey, you know, how it's like to be a window cleaner. Like, it can be a successful business, but at the same time, you know, I know there's a lot of people that say like, oh yeah, you can make so much money, which you could if you do it the right way, sure, but sometimes, you know, it can be kind of like a scamish type of, you know, make money quick type of thing. But yeah, so at least you can get that in mind. I mean, I would still suggest get traditional tools, kind of do, you know, traditional ways of cleaning a house, kind of get the hang of it, and then get a water fed system. But it shows that if you do like take the jump, I know it's a lot of money, but if you do take the jump, at least you can see that it is, you know, you can make up that money fairly quickly, and you don't have to worry about having that type of, you know, payment lingering for months and on end. You could just do it all, like, you know, buy it, and then you can even, like I always say, raise your prices when you start using the water fed. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of that. And so yeah, I think that's it. So anyways, if you made this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.